and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 and children and communities.
Kazi yangu ni kuokoa wasichana wale wanafukuzwa kwa ukuta kama hao ili waelimike kama wavulana. Mizizi ya elimu ni michungu, lakini matunda yake ni matamu.
The foundation to move Kenya into a middle-income country by 2030 has been firmly laid. In the current 1.45 trillion shilling budget, President Kibaki's government has set aside 123.6 billion shillings for roads and another 79.9 billion shillings for energy.
The issue of infrastructure, even within Vision 2030, it's quite clear that it's a cross-cutting foundational issue that creates now the foundation for the economy to begin to develop. And so his focus on infrastructure was actually right on track, in the sense that it is a foundation where other aspects of development can now kick in.
Public transport in and around the Nairobi metropolitan region has been characterized by congestion, accidents and delays, with the country losing up to 50 million shillings daily. there was need to rethink and create a viable option. The mass transit system comprises of bus rapid transport and light rail. The implementation of the mass transit system has started with the development of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport Syokimau City Center light rail line.
This project is about changing that, transforming that. And so with the other stations coming around the city of Nairobi, more and more citizens will be able to access rail transport, providing them with an alternative that is, in my view, more cost-effective and time-effective, comfortable, safe and reliable.
On 13th of November 2012, President Kibaki launched the Nairobi commuter rail services and opened the Syokimau railway station. This is a crucial Kenya Vision 2030 flagship project. Development of similar commuter railway services in the coast and lake regions is at planning stage. The rehabilitation of the existing meter gauge railway by the concessionaire Rift Valley Railways is ongoing. The government is also in the process of developing a standard gauge railway from Mombasa to Nairobi and onwards to Malaba with a branch line to Kisumu. The economic growth of any country is largely influenced by the status of its road infrastructure. Construction of the Dongo Kundu bypass in Mombasa will ease congestion between Mombasa and the south coast by creating a free-flowing traffic link to this economically important tourist destination and the Kwale region. Thika Superhighway, the 10-lane, 50-kilometer stretch of road from Nairobi to Thika, is one of Kenya Vision 2030's flagship projects.
This road links the main commercial centers of Isiolo, Marsabit, Moyale, and Mandera to Nairobi.
Thika Road was a game changer in this ministry, and I believe for this government. It is the first big project that was conceived in this ministry, designed and implemented and completed within 4 years. It was a transformational project. People can see what it means to have a good road from Nairobi to Mombasa, that you can drive your car knowing that your car will arrive in Nairobi without any damage. When the road from Isiolo to Merire was opened, when they saw the first tarmac, they were kissing the tarmac and crying. In fact, when the president launched the construction of the Marsabit Turbi, some of the people who spoke during the opening were so emotional that they nearly shed tears.
Yeye kama ni 100 nitapatia 100% because yeye aliwacha maneno yake yote kwa akatumikia wa Kenya kuwasaidia barabara, ma district karibu, ma dispensaries, ma health centers. Hiyo tumeona kama yeye mwenyewe anastahili. Kama ingelikuwa ni uwezo yangu, ningerudisha yeye akalie hii kiti tena.
Since independence, Kenya's urban development took place close to its only railway line and main trunk road from the sea. 70% of the country was therefore marginalized and left out of its development.
The LAPSSET project, in as far as Kenya is concerned, has a major objective being the opening up of a hitherto marginalized area and introducing social and economic activity in that particular area. To do this, however, it was, I think, important to try and identify synergies with our neighbors. And to have seen that groundbreaking happen earlier this year, in which he brought in not just Kenya, but his neighbors, the Ethiopian Prime Minister, the late Meles Zenawi, the South Sudan President, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, to jointly start the LAPSSET project. I think we'll see in the next 5, 10, 15 years a significant and dramatic change in what was hitherto a marginalized part of this country.
Once the project is fully operational, it will open Kenya's second gateway to the Eastern African and Great Lakes region, establish a reliable access to the sea for northeastern parts of Kenya, South Sudan and Ethiopia.
The role of the railways is actually to provide that efficient connection from the port of Lamu all the way until Moyale, Addis Ababa, and then crossing into South Sudan. And in fact, that railway is intended to form a land bridge, finally, across Africa, from Lamu all the way until the western coast of Africa.
LAPSET is a critical project because its completion, its logical conclusion, by the connection of the two oceans, Indian and Atlantic, via the land bridge, will result now in placing us right dead center in the middle of global trade and increase that. And what does that mean? Jobs and all the socio-economic development that this country, this region, and Africa needs.
This will, when completed, reshape international shipping, international trade.